Shop of the Din Ring here. With the upcoming release of Elden Ring, I wanted to take one last look back at Sekiro, what it did right, what it did wrong, and what it could teach us about Dark Souls. Of all the FromSoft games, Sekiro has the most visual polish, most cutting-edge graphics, and arguably the most fine-tuned gameplay with the highest skill floor of any Souls game. Google Trends shows that interest in Sekiro peaks around its release date, quickly overtaking Dark Souls. But over time, interest in Sekiro has dropped off, while interest in the Souls series has remained steady. The sales data also supports this. Sekiro has sold 3.8 million copies, while Dark Souls 3 has sold an impressive 10 million copies by itself. This may not seem like much, but it actually puts the Souls series up in the top 20 RPGs of all time, right next to big hitters like World of Warcraft and Alien Sex Simulator. Why is this? The first misstep in Sekiro is online content, and no, I'm not just talking about the awkward but lovable red-headed stepchild that is Dark Souls PvP. The worlds of both games are alienating, hostile, and oppressive. However, the blood splatters and messages of Dark Souls add humor and character to the level design. Notes serve as a creative outlet for players. For example, this location featured in Dark Souls 3 in Orlando is a brief remake of a popular level from the first game. There is no bonfire here in the original map of Dark Souls 1. The bonfire does exist in the remake. However, if you go to this location in Dark Souls 1, there will almost always be a player-created message saying, "Bonfire?" This is player-generated meta-humor that breaks up the pacing and tone of the world and makes the user experience feel less isolating. Dark Souls also offers the optional ability to summon players, and for those of us who would rather play alone, Dark Souls occasionally forces you into an online experience, for better or worse.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.
The next missed opportunity in Sekiro is items. Dark Souls uses ingenious item placement as a method of environmental storytelling. Items in Dark Souls are placed meticulously, and their placement and description give hints to the game's world building. For example, when you find Havel's equipment in On Orlando, there's an oddly placed occult weapon. Occult weapons are used for killing gods. For example, Gwen's children, or me after like 30 sit-ups. They're especially effective against Gwen and his various knights. Why would Havel, who serves Gwen, wield a weapon whose purpose is to kill his master? You find Havel locked in a basement, and the key to his prison reads, he was, quote, locked in the Watchtower basement by a dear friend. Later, you find one of Havel's miracles in Ash Lake where the everlasting dragon lives. The placement of these items, combined with several other pieces of lore and item descriptions, start to hint at some sort of rift developing between Havel and Gwen, possibly due to Havel's hatred of dragons and magic, and the fact that Gwen had become partners with Seath the Scaleless, allowing the dragon his own section in On Orlando to perform magical experiments, even on the Queen herself.
You are not the Father.
Yin, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights.
Sekiro has deeper gameplay with a higher skill floor. Sekiro's best moments are mano-a-mano clashing of swords that push the game mechanics to their limits. Camera angle. The game staggers the most when it strays from the system and attempts to include Souls-like enemies. Sometimes this is intentional, with optional bosses like the Demon of Hatred, and sometimes not, like the Guardian Ape fight, which, despite having some of the best cinematic moments in any Souls-like, doesn't make the most of Sekiro's fine-tuned combat. See, while Dark Souls is a game that rewards patience and careful positioning, Sekiro actually punishes these traits. Too much patience allows your enemy's posture, which acts like a pseudo-health bar, to quickly refill, while positioning isn't very useful due to how effective enemy tracking is. The problem with Sekiro is it tends to shift back and forth with how it wants you to play. In fact, I found the easiest way to overcome this fight is simply sprinting in and out of the boss's area of effect. Ludonarrative dissonance, which is Latin for some fancy shit I read on Wikipedia, means the difference between game and story. See, Dark Souls' story was written around its gameplay. Yes, the gameplay came first, then they actually wrote the story around the game. That's why the story is about entropy, and the repetitive nature of cyclical losses slowly grinding you down until you go hollow. The problem is, they couldn't use this trick a second time with Sekiro, and on top of that, Miyazaki took a step back from writing and let his team take the helm, which, unfortunately, occasionally shows through. The depth of Dark Souls isn't just in its story, it's in every inch of its world design, which is built in a way that forces players to communicate with each other online. Take for example secrets like the Dark Seance Ring, which you find completely hidden on one end of the map, which then unlocks a hidden door tucked away on the complete other side of the map. It's designed to be spread across internet forums and chat rooms. There's no way you'd find this on your own.
Hello, it is me, El Chapo Dinring. You do not have a virus. Also, this video is now brought to you by Amazon.com. Consume. Consume. Eat the slop. You hungry pig. Ah yes. Back to Dark Souls. The sheer amount of optional content in this game is staggering. Literally hours upon hours of meticulously crafted content that most players will never experience. It's incredible. It's one feature that pushes Dark Souls from a great game to a masterpiece. It's no wonder that this series has spawned so much online content. Even 10 years after its original release, it is one of the most active subreddits on Reddit.com. Seriously, get a new hobby. Do you losers? Also, this game has spawned millions of viral videos, memes and online discussions. Sekiro does not even attempt this, which is fine. But in terms of optional content, Sekiro makes the fatal flaw of RPGs, which is reusing enemies. It's not a game killer, but it is a minor blemish on an otherwise fantastic game. Oh god. Here comes the virus scanner. Oh Jesus, no, I'm not ready. I feel the darkness taking me. There is nothing in the eternal darkness of death. God is dead.
With that said, I have to give Sekiro credit for the sheer difficulty of its boss fights. Defeating Genichiro mid-game and Sword Saint Ishin as the final boss were two of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had in a video game ever. Again, the world of Sekiro isn't littered with items and power-ups, so it's ultimately up to you the player to level up mechanically, rather than grinding your character stats. I've talked to multiple people who, after playing Sekiro, realized they were never actually any good at Dark Souls. Rather, they depended on overleveling, summons, and items to get past tough fights. In other words, they never got good. Furthermore, Sekiro has a much more mature sense of pacing and has the tone of a more well-considered piece of art. This crescendos into Fountainhead Palace, which might be my favorite level of any FromSoft game ever. Despite everything Sekiro gets right, I still feel it lives in the shadow of its older brother. Sekiro, at its core, was designed as a meta response to Dark Souls. The gameplay is designed to toy with the expectations of experienced Souls veterans, to take advantage of their skills and force them to unlearn years of muscle memory. Ironically, I don't think you need to play Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3 in any particular order, but I do think you need to play Dark Souls before you play Sekiro, to fully appreciate the experience. Dark Souls is a labor of love in a way that Sekiro never could be. Miyazaki spent his childhood reading Western fantasy games. He's been trying to perfect this masterpiece even before Demon Souls, since the 1990s with King's Field. This is why, despite Sekiro being such an amazing game, it's the Soul series alone that will go down in history as one of the greatest of all time. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. I accidentally pile-drived a Korean family, and now I'm on the run for federal hate crime charges. I don't have money for a lawyer. I spent all my money on capes.